Certainly can't dampen the enthusiasm of the crowd that has gathered here or what we are about to see in the next half hour. The official induction ceremonies of the winning car from yesterday's 500. I'm Bob Jenkins. Folks, who's this? Help me introduce him. Everywhere you go.
Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, folks. Well, give me your impressions of what happened yesterday.
I mean, it was genuinely exciting. I mean, it was a great race. When we think about great races, there's always a crash at the end. This was a great race with no crash at the end.
Now they're going to induct this car into Daytona, USA for the next year. It will not be available. What do you think about that?
Earnhardt said they can have it. I mean, he finally won the Daytona 500. He doesn't care if this car stays in there. Now, Larry McReynolds, Richard Childress, they probably got some things on this car they'd like to have, but Earnhardt doesn't care. He won the Daytona 500.
We'll, of course, be talking with him and Larry McReynolds and Richard Childress during the next half hour. But can you imagine what Dale Earnhardt has been through in the last 12 hours or so since he won the race?
You know, we talked to him on SportsCenter last night, and it was like 3.5, 4 hours after the fact, and he still was so excited he couldn't hardly restrain himself. I mean, he was genuinely happy. He said he'd won 31 times in Daytona, and this was the best victory ever.
You have been there. You have won the Daytona 500. Is there anything that compared to winning that to other races?
No. I mean, that is the single biggest thrill I've ever had, winning the Daytona 500.
Well, it all happened, of course, in the 50th anniversary of NASCAR. And you remember that we aired a series of programs called The 50 on ESPN, documenting the history of NASCAR. Well, those programs are going to be repeated on ESPN beginning Friday, February the 20th. The first one will run at 7:30. Then the second one will begin at 8:30 and 9:30. And then on Saturday, February the 21st, the last two programs beginning at 7:30. So get your tape recorders rolling because you'll want to get those and keep them. ESPN's The 50, documenting the history of NASCAR. We'll be back to talk with the winning owner in just a moment. The beginning of a new season signals a changing of the guard, literally. Saturday night before the Daytona 500, Jeff Gordon's DuPont Chevy is rolled out of Daytona, USA, where it's been on display since he took the checkered flag in 1997. Then Sunday morning, Jeff and crew chief Ray Evernham finally got the car back. But we'll have to see whether or not the engine will ever be fired again. Back at Daytona, USA for the induction ceremonies of the winning car in yesterday's Daytona 500. Benny and I are joined by the winning car owner yesterday. Big hand, everybody, for Richard. Can you believe this?
Not really. You know, coming here this many years and finally winning it and being with Dale Earnhardt to win it, it's one of the greatest things that's ever happened to me, really.
We keep talking about that this was Earnhardt's 19th or 20th try. How many times have you been trying to win the Daytona 500?
You know, we were looking back, I think, first time I came here as a driver was 1973, and for Winston Cup, I ran a Paul Revere race in '69, but you know, I tried a few years, and that's always every driver's dream is to win the Daytona 500, but then when you become a car owner, that becomes your dream too, and be able to do it with Dale Earnhardt, Larry McReynolds, and GM Goodwrench Racing Team was unbelievable, Benny. You've been there, you know.
I mean, you've won, what, 80, 90 races as a car owner? Is this the most satisfying victory?
I think it has to be one of the most satisfying. I'd put it at the very top of all victories. You know, our first championship was great, but as a single victory, you look back, I can remember our very first victory as a car owner with Ricky Rudd, and that was really great and neat. But to win the Daytona 500 and win it with Dale Earnhardt, who's put so much into it and been so close so many times, it's one of the most pleasing things that's ever happened to our city.
Do you hate to give up this car?
Well, you always hate to give up a car, but this one is very special. You know, we started working on it last August and put a lot of miles testing this car and really working on it, but it's going to be the greatest gift I think I've ever given to anyone is giving this to Daytona, USA.
Dave Marcus told me that he tested the car a great deal last winter. He said the first time he took this car down in the corner, he said, this is a great race car.
I can remember his quotes. You know, we had Dave Marcus drive it. Mike Skinner drove this car. Mike Dillon drove the car in testing. And but I got a lot of the credit has to go to Larry McReynolds. He put so much into it, and Bobby Hutchins from the aerodynamic standpoint, and Larry just working with the chassis and not just getting it close, but getting it to the thousandths. And a lot of it goes into just so many people. I can't sit here and tell how many people. But Larry McReynolds really kind of guided the thing with Bobby Hutchins' help. And it's just, you couldn't stop naming people that's really put an effort into this. But it all comes down to one thing, that steering wheel holder at the end of the day got the job done.
How does this change the attitude over at Richard Childress Racing? I mean, we did end the long winless streak, and you did it in style. How does this now change you toward the future?
Well, I don't think there's actually a change. You know, we're focused now trying to win our 8th championship. This is one step in that direction. It was a great race to win, but you know, now we've got to accomplish another goal, and that's winning that 8th championship. And I think it shows the strength of any race team or a football team, baseball, anything. When you go under the adversity and things that we went through last year, and to come back as a winner, that really shows the strength of the team, not a guy that's on top winning. We've been there, and that's a little bit easier, but when you get down, come back and win, that's the strength of a real race team.
Richard, thank you very much for joining us, and congratulations on a great victory.
Congratulations, RC.
Okay, well, there was a huge celebration in Victory Lane, and in the pit area just after the checkered flag drop. We'll be back to talk with Larry McReynolds in a moment.
Every race we went to, we said we sure would like to have that car out of Daytona, USA. Asked Bill France a couple times if we could just borrow it, you know, just for the weekend, and we'd put it right back in there.
The carburetor, yeah, we would have liked to have the carburetor. Other than that, it was really, we kept good notes, and the guys do real good duplicating cars, but we'd like to have the carburetor of that one.
Sunday night at 10 p.m., and it's in with the new. The black number 3 rolls to its spot in Daytona, USA, where it will stay for the next year.
This is Daytona, USA. It's the day after the Daytona 500, and Dale Earnhardt's winning car is being officially inducted. This is where it will be for the next year. Joining Benny and me now in this segment is the winning crew chief, Larry McReynolds. The feeling this is a very popular victory, you know?
I think so, you know. It just, to know how bad it's storming outside and to see these people here lined up outside this morning, but these people's what it's all about.
Larry, we heard a few minutes ago Todd Parrott say he wished he could have the car back 2 or 3 times during the year to race, and Ray Evernham said all he wanted was the carburetor. Is there anything specifically on this car that you wish you could keep? Oh,
there's a lot of things I'd like to keep off of it, Bob. You know, our shock man has got countless hours in the 4 shocks that's on this car. And you know what even made me scarier about it was yesterday morning. I said, Scott, I said, you know, we probably need to build a backup set of shocks to put in the pit box, you know, for the race in case we have a problem. He says, well, you know, in this shorter time, there's no way I can duplicate what's on that car, but I'll have something that's close. But, you know, I was actually looking how flat this surface was, and maybe one day when they're closed, if a couple of our fabricators could come down here and get some good measurements off of it. But, you know, it's a great to give it to Daytona USA and let people like these fans see it on a daily basis. Dale Earnhardt's first Daytona 500 winning car. We just got to work hard between now and Talladega and duplicate it, or make it better.
This car is exactly like it rolled on the line yesterday morning. You were not able to take one piece off of it.
Not anything. Now, of course, we had to go through several hours of post-race inspection. You know, they went under it, in it, took the engine completely apart, but our guys was here last night to 9 or 9:15, put it back together, had 4 or 5 inspectors watching us very closely, making sure every nut and washer that was in the race went back on it, and there it sits just like it took the checkered flag yesterday.
Larry, how scared were you when that problem developed right at the end of happy hour Saturday?
Well, you know, it's always scary. I guess the week had went so smooth down here, it was almost scary. And my guys and all talked about this. It's like, we just know something's going to go amiss here any minute now. But, you know, we put our race engine in to run for happy hour on Saturday, got in line very early. You got to start getting in line if you want to be at the first of practice about 3 hours in advance. And the minute Dale got on the racetrack, got the car up to speed, it was missing, hitting on 7 cylinders. Come in and had a broke push rod. It could have just been the push rod itself that was defected, cracked or something. They fixed it. We went on and run the rest of happy hour. Engine guys, Spenny and Danny, made a decision along with Richard to put a backup engine in there. Was obviously just as good as the race engine. Tuned it based on the knowledge they had from Thursday's 125s, and obviously look at those pipes. They had it tuned just right. It's pretty white.
I checked those pipes. That's the first thing I looked at this morning. It looked like it was right there.
Right there. Leaned on it, got good fuel mileage yesterday. Actually couldn't use the fuel mileage we was getting because, again, you have to pit with some dancing partners. We could run 7, 8, 9 laps further than some of the other cars, but we needed to pit. Unless it worked out that the fuel mileage could help us win the race, there's no sense in just sitting out there running the distance on fuel, running by yourself, obviously.
Larry, congratulations. I know it's been a while since a victory, and boy, what a way to break the streak, huh?
Oh, it really is. You know, Dale's and Richard's. Seeing the look on Richard and Judy Childress' face, their first 500 victory, that was awfully special, too.
Congratulations.
Thank y'all.
All right. Well, guess who is next? When we come back, Dale Earnhardt's going to be here.
Yes, sir. Jerry can't hardly walk. He'd be there. Most of them will slip up there and then...
Too bad. Please, sir. Thank you.
Hey, Monkey. Come on with me. Okay, baby doll. Thank you. Love you. Bye.
Richard, win all of England, it's not like winning the Daytona.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Well, looks like it was a long night for Dale Earnhardt, but probably an exciting one. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the Daytona 500 in 1998, Dale Earnhardt.
From the man, okay?
It's only a half-hour show.
What do you think, Benny?
This is pretty exciting stuff, isn't it?
I'm telling you, it's the greatest feeling I've felt in my career in a long, long time. That first championship, the first win, the first championship, all that's great. Coming down here for 20 years and not winning the Daytona 500 and finally winning it, I wish everybody could experience this. This is the greatest feeling. I've talked to all my relatives, all my fans, everybody all night long, just different phone calls. Ronnie Bouchard called me, just different people. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. Talking about how we won. I had champagne. We got a big time.
Have you had any sleep?
Yeah, a little bit. An hour or two. You sleep an hour, you wake up and think about it a little bit. You go back to sleep. Man, I've had a great night. Had a great night.
What about the car? You don't get to use this car anymore for a year.
We built it just for this reason.
You built it just for this reason to bring
Right here. Built it for this right here.
Right here? It kind of blends in, the black and white. It's black and
They
white.
built this for us. They just, you know, wanted to make sure it would do okay and everything. We tried it out a couple years practice before we put our car in here. Really, though, you think about it. It's the 40th annual Daytona 500, the 50th anniversary. It was the 60th race since I won a race. 20th year coming down here. Pretty awesome stats.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
Everything adds up right, don't it?
It added up to number one.
Yeah, and Dale Jarrett, Jeff Gordon, and Dale Earnhardt did the Daytona USA commercial.
Yeah.
Dale Jarrett won. Yep. Jeff Gordon won. Dale Earnhardt won now.
I don't see any dents on this car.
There isn't a scratch on it.
On the back end. Right back here. Mike Skinner pushed me along. Jeremy Mayfield touched me a little bit, but man, we was going. I tell you, Mike Skinner helped me on that last restart get out front and stay there. And it was great to have a teammate.
He knocked you by him, didn't he?
He pushed me right on out there, man. and you know, that's what, all the planning, all the work you do, trying to get here, you win the Daytona 500, you do it with teammates or help from whoever, but it paid to have a teammate. But the whole team was the winning this race was Richard Childress Racing. The 31 car, the 3 truck, everybody, Dave Marcus, everybody worked so hard testing. This race car right here started out testing last year. Last November, it tested in Talladega, brand new race car. We built it, won 2 races, actually, the qualifying race. Won the Daytona 500, it's here in the museum. 1 race, it's brand new, it's here.
Dave Marcus told me the first lap he made on the racetrack, he knew this was a good race car.
He told me, he said, that's a good race car. It drove better than any other race car. Now, how do you build race car after race car and one drives a little better? This one drives better than any race car drove at Daytona.
There's some things inside the car that will remain there that I'm sure are very special to you. Tell me about them.
Well, of course, your helmet and all that stuff, the gloves stay in there. But Saturday afternoon after practice, the last practice, went in and met 5 Make-A-Wish kids. And a little girl was in a wheelchair. She's got all these problems. She's disabled, about 8 years old, tiny little girl. And I can't remember, I wish I could remember her first name now. Everybody's things to run together. But the little girl gave me a penny and said, you're going to win the Daytona 500. This is your good luck penny. I told Larry, I said, Larry, give me some glue. And he gave me some 3M glue like you glue the lug nuts up with. And I stuck that thing on the dash. He said, well, you use more glue and you got penny. And it's glued all out around it. But it's stuck on the dash. Won the Daytona 500. Yep. Good luck from her. Thank God for angels. And I think she is our angel here. And that's awesome. But everything in that race car is brand new. The helmet's not new, though. I wore that helmet to practice and test, so we broke it in, and everything's right.
You don't get to use that helmet anymore, though. It's gone.
I got another. I have to beat on it with a hammer, though, make it right. I have to work on my helmets. Even the guys lost their cameras from CBS. The cameras, everything's in there.
Okay, when we come back, we're going to get some questions from the audience. We're going to have also a special presentation to Dale. First of all, though, we'd like to remind you about Big Monday, which is coming up on ESPN tonight. At 7:30, the number 17 Syracuse team plays Villanova. At 9:30, number 4 Kansas against Colorado. And at midnight, number 9 New Mexico against UNLV. That's NCAA basketball on Big Monday. Back at Daytona, USA in just a moment with Dale Earnhardt. ESPN Speed World coverage of the induction ceremonies of Dale Earnhardt's winning car into Daytona, USA is brought to you by Daytona, USA, the ultimate motorsports attraction. And we're back here at the induction ceremonies, and Dale Earnhardt is going to take some questions from the hundreds of people that have gathered here this morning for this ceremony. First of all, however, this is Gatorade Victory Lane here at Daytona, USA, sponsored by the good people at Gatorade. And Ed Schull from Gatorade has a very special presentation to Dale. Tell me about it, Ed.
Dale, all the folks at Gatorade are extremely delighted to have your car, the number 3 car, in Gatorade Victory Lane for the next 12 months for all the fans to enjoy. You know, NASCAR is an all-family sport. Daytona, USA is an all-family attraction. We thought what better way to commemorate this event than to present you with this picture we took yesterday in Victory Lane.
And we're going to have Dale unwrap it here very quickly.
I think I can. Thank you very much.
That just about says it all, doesn't it, Dale?
Yeah, that says it all. I tell you, Gatorade's been so awesome. I won that qualifying race 9 straight races in a row. 9 years in a row, and that's awesome. Win the Daytona 500, getting this car into the Gatorade Victory Lane here in Victory Circle. This is awesome. Thanks, guys.
Benny, what do these people want to know?
I don't know. Who are you, sir?
Walt Cook, Wyndham, Minnesota.
Thank you very much.
Minnesota, what would you like to ask Dale Earnhardt this morning?
What was his best time on the track? I mean, when he had the most fun.
When yesterday did you have the most fun? When you took the checker flag, Dale?
When I had the most fun?
Yeah.
Well, I really had a great day all day long. I had a lot of fun all day long. The time I enjoy racing so much is in the car, doing it, actually racing. That was a tremendous race, an exciting race. But what makes it so exciting is you win. But Victory Lane was awesome, and coming down the pit road with all the crews coming out. BP, could you believe that?
No.
I mean, that was unbelievable. Your peers coming out and giving you high fives. About broke my hand off, my arm off, but they give me high fives, and different car owners and crew chiefs coming in, and just, man, I knew it. Todd Perry, I told you this year race. Andy Petrie, just numbers of them. I got up there and done me a little donut in the grass, and got a little piece of that Daytona 500 logo out there in the grass. I did that for Mr. France and all the fans. And, I was having a great time. I really was.
All right, let's ask someone else. You have a question?
Sure. When did you know you really had it won?
When did you know you really had the thing won?
When I got to that checker flag, the white flag. And you know what, Benny? After I got the checker flag, I mean the white flag and the caution, I slowed down, and you know I knew the spin was out of the racetrack, and I slowed down, and I said, well, why am I slowing down? I'm gonna get back to the checker, and I shoved her up in third gear and took off again, and come back to fourth and run back around, and I couldn't wait to get to that checker flag. That was awesome.
Dale, it was awesome. It was terrific. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
So many things yesterday. You broke the winless streak, and you stopped the endless media every year from coming to you and asking you, when are you going to win that race?
Go ask Rusty Wallace and Terry Labonte. Don't ask me anymore.
That's right.
Out of here.
Dale, does this complete the career? Now, I know you won championship number 8, but does this sort of give you everything that you want in terms of winning a race?
Well, it sort of makes you career complete, but still, we want to accomplish more things, like win more races and win more championships. And I tell you, if you've seen the look in these guys' eyes at Daytona, Larry McReynolds, Richard Childers, the whole crew in behind, me included, we wanted this Daytona 500 bad. We wanted it bad. The race fans wanted it bad for us. We went out and won it. But you'll see that same look every week. Them guys on the other teams are in trouble. They're in trouble. We are hard after that championship. We're going to work hard every race. We got a whole good program together in our engine program and our cars. Everybody on the team is just really pumped up and really pulling together.
What do you think, gang? Huh? Congratulations to Dale Earnhardt. RPM tonight is coming up next. Thanks for joining us here at Daytona.